Everybody, Thomas here. So this is the second stump grinder. Again, if you're following the channel and everything, the first stump grinder had it delivered to Tennessee and everything, intended on having that used during the sawmill show. Unfortunately, it didn't really get there in time. It got there just right before the sawmill show and we didn't have time to actually put it together. But we did actually get to use it. My dad really liked it a whole lot, so much so that he said, you know what, go ahead and keep that one here. I'll pay you the money. Go ahead and order yourself another one. That's all fine and dandy, but I built his, so now I've got to build this one, and I'm going to do a video that kind of shows that. First things first, just take off the box and everything. Second thing is you have this awesome caged frame thing, and I'm going to tell you this: make sure you save this. Save the top portion and save the bottom portion, and we'll get into that here in a second. But as you look at this cage here, you've got the four corners all the way around everything, and they have bolts and nuts. Half inch socket with a half-inch wrench will get those off. So hopefully that'll save you from having to search in your toolbox and everything. We're going to take off this cage, then we're going to start unwrapping everything and taking all the pieces and parts out, and we're going to show you, because now I actually know how this thing goes together, we're going to show you where these pieces and parts are located. Okay, so we've gotten pretty much everything off of here that we need to take off at this time. This little tube right here that has the user manual, instructions how to put together everything, has two important things. First off, it has a wrench that is used in the removal of the teeth and stuff like that, as well as it has these nuts and bolts right here and washers, which are for this plate right here. I could not find these because I didn't look in here. I figured I can put this thing together pretty easy. Well, or maybe I did look in here, but these were stuck in the bottom, so I didn't see them. They were like way down in there. So those are the four bolts, nuts, washers, and everything for this portion right here. So we'll get to that here in a second. The next thing you got to do is you've got to loosen up. Let me show this on the back side. This bolt right here. We're going to go ahead and loosen up that bolt, rotate this front plate upwards. They have it like this for shipping so it can fit into the specific size box that they have. So let me figure out what size does that. I don't remember from beforehand. Got a feeling it's going to be something large. Let's see, 3/4? 3/4. So there you have it. So you just loosen that up and spin her right side up. Okay, so now we've got that right side up. Again, go into our tube right here. We'll get out the bolts, nuts, washers for these ones right here. I'm going to throw in a time lapse so I don't bore you with putting these in here. As you can see, you got the bolt, you got the washers, and you got the nylon nuts so they won't back out. Yep. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to just go ahead and speed it up. I'm not going to do a time lapse or anything. That way, I'll at least show something. 3/4 inch, same as the one on the other side. Really easy, so don't even have to take the socket off. Gonna go bolt, washer through the hole, and then we'll do a washer and then nylon nut. Do that for each of them. Pretty simple. Okay, so that's done, and we're almost done here. Now, there's also a chainsaw holder you can put on here, and there's also this tube you can put on here. The machine is a violent machine. What I mean by that is there's a lot of vibrations that occur in this machine. So at this time, I will not put on the chainsaw holder nor that tube. The chainsaw holder piece is this doohickey right here, and she goes on right there. It already has the bolts, nuts, and washers all on there. Holds on there, clamping mechanism. You've got a rubber pad right here so that your blade won't tear into the metal. It's a really cool design. However, I intend to grind with this thing in areas that are easily accessible, so I'm not going to be going deep into the woods at this time. So I'm not going to put my chainsaw holder on there, as well as this thing right here. I don't really need this on here. It's just another thing I think I'm going to break, or it's going to rattle off or something like that. So again, I'm doing a modified little method here. Next things is your plate. Plate on this one, bolts, nuts, washers already on there, correct orientation. Plate goes just right here. That just stops any debris from being kicked up, or it could potentially come back and hit you or someone that's operating around the machine. What size are these? Looks like 1/2 inch. Convenient. So 3/4 and 1/2 inch will pretty much put her all together for you. Oh, that's not easy. So that's convenient when you know the socket size and wrench sizes before you actually start the job. That should be good right there. I'm wearing this outfit that I'm wearing is because my daughter and I just got back from going fishing. We went on to Bagley Flowage. We did about 4 miles. I was very proud of her because she did her own kayak and I did mine. We have pedal driven kayaks actually we've got a couple of them, but the 2 that we took out are the Old Town ones, and pretty cool. I mean, we had a great time with them. Now technically, I think the washer should be on the bottom side, but I really don't care. I don't think it's going to matter one way or the other. A lot of debris is going to be in that area there. So it would not hurt to have a washer, additional washer on the bottom, but again, this plate here is really just a deflector, nothing else. Therefore, not too concerned about it. You can probably even get by without even having this on here, but again, more of a safety thing, and it'll prevent all your debris from flying 20 feet out. It'll fly like just right here now. I like it that I don't have to go searching for just a ton of different parts or tools, excuse me, to put something together. Keeping it simple, I like that. Because that means you, the user, the consumer, can put this thing together lickety split. The faster you put it together, the faster you can use it. Now we're only going to do this portion tonight. Tomorrow morning I'll get out here at the tractor. We'll hook that up. In some applications you may have to shorten the PTO shaft. On my dad's tractor, I didn't have to shorten the shaft, which is nice. And I'm hoping on this one we won't have to either. But if you do, you'll just need a hacksaw or a sawzall or something like that. So there. Essentially, we have put her together right now. One of the other things I'm going to tell you is I'm going to tell you not to remove these metal stanchions from this frame. There's a reason for that. Go ahead and buy yourself 4 casters. If you keep these metal legs already attached to this frame, when this is not in use, you can go ahead, put it back onto the frame just as it is. If you have those 4 metal casters on there, if you get a concrete slab, really you don't even have to have a concrete slab. I mean, if you put some pretty large ones on there, it allows you to roll this thing around and store it up out of the way. Since this is a semi-expensive implement, when not in use, I'll probably be keeping this in my garage. Because I say semi-expensive. This right here, this unit, now this is June 2023, was $2,598, and that includes delivery. It was $2,300, and it was like $199 delivery, flat rate shipping. And this thing got here in lickety split time. I ordered this on, when did I order this? Last Monday? I think I ordered this thing last Monday or last Tuesday, and it got here in a week. So, impressive. You'll see also, well, you can't see right now, but on the actual shaft that spins the actual chipper and everything, it says, "Did you cut your PTO shaft? Failure to do so may result in severe damage if you did not." Excuse me. It could damage the implement and is not covered under the warranty. So just verify that you in fact do have the correct size shaft. When you put it on there, put it on your tractor, you'll know if it's too long or not. If you don't get full range of movement on it, odds are the shaft's too long. And again, a hacksaw easily can go ahead and take care of that. Last thing I'm going to do for right now is we'll go ahead and put this shaft on, and it's pretty nice that they give you something like this. So, sucker's heavy. They give you a slip clutch, very cool slip clutch. To put it on, you've got this nut right here. I'm trying to get these mosquitoes off me. Got this nut right here and this pin that will come out. This pin is tapered on one side and will slide into a groove mark that's actually on the implement. So let's go ahead and remove this. What size is it? To tell you the truth, it kind of looks like it's 3/4. I hope it is. It'd be nice. Woo. It's 3/4. Convenient. Yeah, I'm doing this in flip-flops, which is probably not ideal. But again, kind of a weird tapered shaft on that pin right there. And what you'll have to do is you'll take this, you'll match up the the splines and threads that are on here with that on the actual implement. Try not to crush your hands, your feet, or any other thing. But you want to do it in such a way where you can get that tapered bolt nut thing in there. So you need to be able to look right there. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Trying to match up the hole. So if you see that hole right there, I can make this thing focus. Come on. I should want to focus. You can see right there, I've lined up, it's clear shot all the way through. Now there is a correct direction and an incorrect direction to put this in there. That is not the correct direction. Gotta go from the other side. Okay, it appears that was the correct direction. So I've got that pin going through. Go ahead and get it where she bottoms out. We'll put the nut on the bottom here, and as we tighten it up, it will continue to seat into there properly. Let me get my wrench or ratchet. I'm going to do that until I have threads coming out. But that's the gist of it. Got that pin through there. One of the things I was really impressed with our other one is how well this thing is balanced when she's spinning up to full speed. It's just quite impressive. All right, so let's come back tomorrow morning. We'll go ahead and attach this to a tractor and show you some operations of it. Stay tuned. Okay, so it's the next morning. We're gonna go ahead and hook this up. All I've done thus far, back the tractor up, of course, and I hooked up this chain. There's 2 chains on here onto the side of the machine. First things first, one thing I liked about this is that they actually give you pins and everything. That's actually a big plus, because I can't tell you how many times I'm searching for the right size pin to go somewhere on a piece of equipment. I keep them in my toolbox on the tractor, but again, you can never have enough of these pins. And it's just little things like that that add up and everything, so I'm pretty happy about that. All right, if I do this correctly, put these through, and you can see I've got the extensions out on the actual 3-point hitch here. Really helpful when attaching a piece of equipment. A little bit off on this one, it looks like. This thing's heavy. I guess it's like 500 pounds, and it's like every bit of 500 pounds. So, as you can see, I've got those extensions out though. Whenever I back the tractor, those will lock in place. Pretty cool. Old tractors used to not have that. It's really helpful when fine-tuning. You're not exactly right on your tool or whatnot. I'll have to adjust this here in a second. At least get this on there. I need to add the sleeve. Let's see if it'll fit. Yep. Just tighten just a little bit, not much. Now for the fun part. Now the good thing is, my tractor, I'm able to take the 3-point, or the PTO, excuse me, and put it in neutral. So I've got that neutral. I go ahead. I greased up everything prior to. Also got dirt on this prior to. That helps, I hear. Slide this up on there. Those threads match up. Depress the pin. Lock her in place. Go ahead and put my little chain. I can hook it on really anywhere. I'll hook it on right here. All right, so now that's on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, and it looks like I should be good on length, because I do have some play. But as soon as I put these arms back in, we'll see if I need to shorten anything. And you can watch how this goes. That's Suze. All right, everything sounds good. I had plenty of room on that shaft. It's currently at the highest position, as you can see. Still have about 1.5 to 2 inches of gap there. Okay, one last thing. I'm going to talk about this and everything. Again, since I have a larger tractor here, and as well as my dad's tractor, we did not actually have to cut the PTO shaft. If you have a smaller tractor, you may have to do so. You've got an A measurement, you got a B measurement. If A is at least 1 inch longer than B measurement, you don't have to worry about cutting. If it's anything less, then it tells you the amount of trim. That would be your C measurement. Also, you have the PTO slip clutch and everything. The slip clutch itself, again, they give you a nice little chart here in the book. It tells you, based on your PTO horsepower of your tractor, what the spring height needs to be. Now, I don't have a set of calipers or anything. I've got to get a little tape measure. It'll give me approximate and everything. This tractor here, against 48 horsepower tractor, I believe my PTO horsepower is around 40, 42, something like that. But I'm going to shoot to be something between the 1.22 to 1.20, and I will say that is hard to read on a tape measure. So I'm going to, err on the side of caution. I'm going to be slightly under 1.25 inches. I'll probably err in that 35 horsepower range, because I would much rather have this slip clutch slip than the PTO clutch slipping. And that right there is pretty easy. You just go ahead, get a tape measure, you throw it on there, and I know you really can't see that well from here, but I'm slightly under 1.25 inches. All the bolts and everything, or springs, are to that same dimension there, and we are good to go. Also, what you'll have to do before you start getting hot and heavy into it, this right here, this pin, it's on the pivot arm here. Go ahead and remove that, and I can't do it with one hand, but I'll lift up on this piece a little bit right here, take out this pin, and it will allow that head there to pivot out. And that right there is an extra safety, because as you're cutting through the log and everything, if you really start to bind up, it won't get too bound up and put an undue pressure and stuff like that on the disc. And I would hate to try to get this disc out of alignment and stuff like that. That might be a pain in the butt, because I will say she spins like a champ. All right, folks, we've got the tractor set up here on a rather large oak log, about 29 inches in diameter. We're gonna go ahead and remove this. I'm gonna try this from a different angle. I've approached logs from this side before. I'm gonna try it on that side. I've seen videos on both ways, and I've done it both ways, but let me just see which one turns out better. I also have tightened up my swing arms left to right, so hopefully the machine won't jump around as much. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. Also, when I was getting this all set up, I had noticed this the other day whenever I was clearing out the fence line here, trying to get this ready. There was a large yellow jacket's nest in an old stump that was here. This is one that I pushed down, whole stump came out and everything. So there was a large yellow jacket's nest there. I promptly just put all this sawdust on top of it. Hopefully keep them at bay while I'm working here, so they don't absolutely destroy me and the dogs as we're, again, working here trying to get this stump removed. I'm gonna go and set the camera up about right here. I think this is a good location, and we'll see how this goes. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Now, if you see there at the very end, my slip clutch definitely works. I took a bit too much off there, and that's all right, because that's what the slip clutch is there for. Okay, so approaching from that one side, I guess is about the same as either side. I don't know if there's a right or wrong way, but you can definitely approach from both sides. It seemed like it was working pretty well. Yeah, removed that stump. Very happy with that. This machine, I can see it paying for itself pretty quickly if I was to go out there and do other things. Knock this job out. This is about 10 minutes on this log here, roughly. And again, I have a geared tractor, not a hydrostatic. So I have her in granny low, and I really have to kind of like feather the clutch in a little bit and everything. It's not too shabby, but it works. And especially for like home use, what I'm going to be using this for and everything, just clearing out trees on my property and fence lines, this will definitely work. So hopefully you found this interesting. Hopefully this video was helpful to someone out there. Very, very awesome tool to have on the farm, especially if you're putting up fences and everything, because now I don't have to try to burn out a stump for multiple years and never get it out. This thing will actually remove it, and you get a lot of mulch and stuff. And okay, folks, I want to do one last little bit here. So it has been approximately 2.5 hours since I finished that last portion of the video there. Let's see if I can show this, if it'll show. You can't see any heat coming off that clutch, but I will say this: I will have to tighten up that clutch. I am starting to move it around everything. It is starting to slip a whole lot. I say a whole lot, it slips. But I was also taking some very aggressive cuts on this oak log or oak stump that I just cut up. 15 or 16 stumps removed, also clearing a lot of other property. Very impressed with the machine. It is phenomenal. I will say the visuals when you're trying to look back from the cockpit and everything, I have found I look through literally like right here, and I'm keeping an eye on the actual spinning disc and everything. But I will say the visuals are kind of hard because it's just it's so far down into the ground behind and everything. But other than that, it's great. So my neck is a bit sore from turning around and everything. But again, just to take out all those stumps and everything is fantastic. Now that all of our obstacles have been removed, again, like I said, 15 or 16 stumps. I did the whole perimeter of the property behind the house and everything over to here. My last stump was just over here. Very impressed with the machine, well worth it. But essentially I've removed all the stumps off my property now. So there's really not much more to do with the machine currently. And that's why I'm going to start going out and removing stumps at my buddy's house. This is the last oak stump that I removed right here. This is about 33-inch diameter red oak log here, or red oak stump, excuse me. And yeah, all right, now we got to get to stretching that fence. The work really begins now. All right, please like, subscribe. We'll see you around. Thanks.